Good morning, everybody. So here we are in the city of Redondo Beach, corner of Harriman and Flagler. And this is a really cool project. We're just about to finish up here. We're just doing the finishing touches. So we're doing applying the mulch. And we've got the pollinator fountain completely done. Check that thing out. Be a freshwater source for birds, bees, butterflies, bats. And it just recycles the same water. It has an automatic water fill so that it can fill itself up automatically. And then over here we have the Arbutus compactas, which are going to give a little bit of privacy to the front windows. But the thing to keep in mind is that they're going to give food for pollinators and for people. And then over here, we've got the Arbutus marina, world's most beautiful tree. And for the smaller plants, we actually put in 4 different types of native salvias, because natives are the only food for the pollinators. And we've got the monkey flowers here. We've got yarrow. We've got a boulder. Actually, we've got several boulders, as well as the fountain. Now, one of the interesting things is that this job actually was just an old tired driveway with grass over here. All the grass got removed, driveway replaced, new fence put in, and then most of the cities are in LA, the as tall as you can make a wall is 42 inches, so it's not very tall. But there's no height restriction on trees, and so since this is a main thoroughfare with traffic, tons of traffic comes through here certain times of the day, as well as a wind tunnel. What we went ahead and did was we put in 8 avocado trees, and we're going to actually, the idea is that we're going to create an avocado wall. So really cool. So using nature to find solutions is really a cool thing. There's bananas. Those are the only plants that were left from the original landscape. They weren't getting much water, so we cut them back, and they're going to have a banana stand there. So they'll be able to get food from there, as well as the avocados, and the strawberry bushes are going to give little berries. So notice the retaining wall that we did there in the middle with big boulders. And we have WAC lighting here, so at night it's going to pop really, really well. In the front here, we've got California natives. We wanted this to be a real showpiece. So we've got the California buckwheat, as well as the armeria and the yarrow. So those will provide a lot of color once it's done. And as we go to the side of the house, you'll notice the homeowner decided to be part of the solution rather than the problem for the planet. And here's where rain comes down, and it used to just shoot down here, go in the grass, go into the sidewalk, into the street, and then it would pick up motor oil, brake dust, and other contaminants, and then it would pollute the ocean. So now, instead of that happening, it's going to come down, it's going to be diverted into this dry creek bed that we made, and it's going to go along the side of the house, and it's going to be absorbed by the earth at this tiny little slice of earth, but nonetheless, it's going to stay here on site. The whole goal of water in the landscape is to slow water down. And notice we have the drip irrigation we put in. It's the Rainbird Copper Shield drip. It's the only drip that actually comes with a copper inside of it, strips of copper every 12 inches, and that prevents root intrusion, so you don't have to blow chemicals through there to keep it weed free. These are the Rainbird valves. Rainbird actually has a patent on the LFV, low flow valves. They were always guaranteed to shut off, and so that's why we use them, because we can only afford to use the best. And then as we make our way down here, again, this isn't completely finished. We're going to be putting mulch down. Here's a Fuji apple tree. So if you want to save the planet, participate in saving the planet, then figure out who needs to be fed and feed them. So the pollinators need to be fed, and people. So The apple trees actually were discovered, according to history, Alexander the Great, 300 BC. And he brought them back to Greece, and they kind of spread out from the world. Currently, in the United States, there's over 5,000 varieties of apples, but it all gets traced back. Nevertheless, they're not native, but they do provide food for people and for pollinators. The homeowner here is actually in the medical world, and so we added a non-native lavender. It is Mediterranean, so it's drought tolerant, but it's also used medicinally too. So we have the seaside daisy, which is a California native, more buckwheat, which is California native, and a ton of the native milkweed. That's the only food for the monarch butterfly, the native milkweed. We have a lemon tree here, smaller lemon, California native monkey flower. And then look at this gorgeous, it's an ultra dwarf red Baron peach. Look at it, it looks like a rose bush, doesn't it? Just absolutely the most gorgeous flowers on the planet. And then it gives you food. So here's another native California salvia, lime, and then another milkweed, and then there's drip irrigation run through everything. And check that out overall, what it looks like. Like I mentioned, it's not quite done yet, but it's getting there. Over here, this is the north side of the house. It was what was requested by the homeowner, something that was low to no maintenance, so and then something that can grow in shade. Well, these are plants that actually do really well in shade. They're called asparagus, Myers asparagus. So they don't really need to be trimmed. You really don't have to do anything to them. Another plant that does real well in shade is called the laurel pedalum. The idea behind this is to let it get taller over time and let it create an arch over the gate here. Notice we did do a light here for the steps, and there's one in here for the steps. And then we've got, if you're the homeowner here, and I'm standing at their back door, you walk outside, this is what you see. So we put these plants in that take a lot of shade, but they'll grow 2 stories easily. And they're called Calliandra hemiciphylo, otherwise known as pink powder puffs. They got these really cool, unusual flowers, which attract a lot of hummingbirds, and that's one of the reasons why that I use them, is the hummingbirds also like to nest in them too. So, and they grow pretty quickly. It'll give the homeowner the privacy that they're looking for. So just wanted to show you that in this video that it's possible to have your cake and eat it too. You can have shade plants that are native, like these monkey flowers, and you can have a 2-story trellis that hummingbirds like to nest in. And it's just with a good design and forethought. This is a main boulevard, or it's not a boulevard, but it's a main feeder street in Redondo Beach. No problem. We put the plants in line and put them in a position where they'll be able to provide a functioning, so you don't have to build a big wall, just partner with nature and put in an avocado wall. And so that's what we got. It's got a lot of contrast of textures and taste, and it's starting to come to life now. And so the DG is going in now, and then mulch will go in and we'll be done. And that pollinator fountain will actually provide a lot of distraction from the busyness of this main feeder street in Redondo Beach. So not so sure about the motorcycles, and then there's a light on the pollinator fountain. So there you have it. Okay, I'll do a YouTube video once this is all done. Thanks for joining me. Mike with Enviroscape LA signing off. When you think sustainability and permaculture, think Enviroscape LA.